Boom. All right, we live. Episode 203 of the No Hangover podcast. I forgot my motherfucking clapper again. But it's okay. We got a guest, familiar guest. Zach is back with us. You know, when we get together, there's going to be some shit talking, some fucking controversial hot takes. So, yeah, let's get to it. How you been, man?
Good, man. Good. Same old, man.
Yeah.
Every time I come on here, just being a family man, and you know.
How's the new year been treating you so far?
It's good, man. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, with everything going on, I mean, you know, all my business ventures and shit kind of flows into all that good shit. So can't complain, man. How about yourself, man?
I've been pretty good. Obviously getting settled in. We got the, new studio. So, it's getting settled in, trying to get more consistent with this and trying to, just really, now it's fully in my hands now. I'm doing it by myself for the most part. So I'm just trying to, kind of give it one last hurrah and see if, we can really make something of this podcast. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy, having people on, having conversations, bullshit, fucking throwing conspiracy theories out there, giving information and just all that good stuff that comes with it. So
pissing off the public,
But yeah, I mean, so the last time we talked was what, in October, September?
Yeah.
So that was
months ago.
Yeah. So that was before the election. Now the election has happened. We have a new president. Well, we're gonna have a new president regardless, but the new party is in power and the sky hasn't fallen yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about that so far? I mean, we got into it as far as not like got into it as argument. We've got into that topic as far as like just a lot of the media propaganda and the suppression of certain information to prop up one and bring down another and things like that. All these things are coming to light now. As far as, the Twitter files, Mark Zuckerberg going on to the Joe Rogan podcast and saying that the Biden administration were, telling him to suppress certain things about the COVID vaccine, about the Hunter Biden, laptop case and all these things. And I'm starting to see a lot of, prominent figures, public people come out and kind of, go back on their, Trump hatred and things like that. And it is it's kind of funny to see more than anything. So, I mean, where do we go from there now that everyone is kind of, trying to backpedal a little bit on it and kind of come back to stopping the overcorrecting and find more middle ground and things like that.
I think the biggest thing, man, it's kind of like you said, there's a lot of shit coming out that there was a lot of suppression and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's just one side or the other. I think it's government as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, from our last podcast, how I feel about the government, man. I think there's some good figures, but overall, I think
Shiesty.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a powerful government without squashing people under you, which is the citizens, right?
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, Zuckerberg and all of them are coming out, but also there's lawsuits of, the news anchors that everyone thought like, oh, they're actually, they're not Fox. They're saying the shit, but like MSNBC and ABC, they're even getting slapped with defamation lawsuits. So that shows, I'm pretty sure I probably mentioned it last time I was here, but it's like, it shows that like everyone's low-key full of shit.
Yeah.
Right. You can't have an elite class without, some kind of hold, power, all that. And that's what they use media. Now, when it comes to like elections, I know everyone, social issues are important and all that shit, but I have a different view on it, especially now I'm getting older and just being more financially minded, all that shit. And I think we're just coming into a new era of like authenticity. Yeah, sorry, I just had a stroke. But that's what I think it is, man. I think for the most part, you're always going to have the people, speaking on politics from the right is always going to back the right. They're going to think they're right, no pun intended. You're going to have the left thinking that they're, the righteous ones. There's always going to be those people, but I think the middle ground of people is starting to realize the bullshit. And I think you're going to start seeing a lot more this honest shit,
Yeah.
I think the way like systems are changing. I think for me, I think politics has always been about money. Even from, hundreds of years ago. Social issues were used to divide people, but what governments really care about is financial and money. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot more systems that come out that are faster, right? They're going to be more productive, AI, blockchain, all that. But I think you're also going to see more transparency, especially since people aren't stupid anymore. As much as people want to say like, oh, this side's stupid, that side's stupid, they're not.
Yeah, we're in an information era. Like, it is readily available to anyone with a fucking phone. It's in your fucking pocket at all times. You know, you can have subscriptions to whatever articles, news outlets, things like that. So the information is there at your fingertips.
Yeah. So with that being said, so I think where we go from here, I think this is the start of a new, we talked a little bit before this, man. I think it's the start of a new financial system. I think it's going to be a change of how we do not only like creative aspects, like, you know, private rights to content, like your music, you know, shit you put in social media, all that. So I think there's going to be more of emphasis on privacy of that, but I think it's the way you do finance too. I don't think, you know, it's a coincidence that Trump and a lot of his administration are pro blockchain, pro crypto, turn it into pro AI, which, you know, for that to function, you need AI. And if people that don't know about crypto and blockchain, a lot of people don't understand it. It's a system where you can't fudge numbers. Yeah. You can't. And I think people are tired of banks. They're tired of all this stuff. So I think this whole thing is about a financial system flip for not just the United States, but the entire world. As you can see, you know, everyone's watching what we're doing. I don't think it's a coincidence that Trump was talking about we're having Bitcoin reserves and other cryptocurrencies, and he's investing in the data centers and AI and DeFi and all that. And now every other country is following suit. And then you even have the big institutions that back in 2017 said, oh, cryptocurrency is a fraud, it's a Ponzi scheme, this, that, and the other. Comes out that JP Morgan, Bank of America, two of the biggest critics of it, they've been using blockchain since 2017 as they were talking shit on it, but they see the benefit of it. And now you're seeing BlackRock, all these people invest into it. So that's where I think we're headed, man. I think this is just a whole political ploy to change the financial system. And for me personally, I think it's going to be the better. You know, we're still going to have our social shit, but I'm financially minded, dude. I mean, we've lived through quote unquote good presidents, quote unquote shitty presidents, the presidents that were going to end the world, you know, whether it would be, you know, presidents that were going to sell out the country for this, you know, Y2K, we're supposed to be dead. We're supposed to be dead in 2012. All this shit has been said. But I think it's a huge switch for financial systems, man. That's my whole thing. So. Yeah.
And I mean, I agree. I do agree as far as like, you know, most of this is a money grab. Most of this is, you know, people trying to, you know, gain financially and prop themselves up and set themselves up for whenever the doomsday fucking comes, that they're as prepared as can be. And right now, the way that you do that is to gain financially, so then you could, you know, buy these things, you know, buy yourself a bunker, get yourself land, fucking prepare yourself for however you feel like you need to prepare yourself. The one thing that still, and I'm still seeing, and I mean, we touched a little bit about this before we got on, is the social aspect of it, and the people that are still, you know, clinging on to, you know, Trump and Hitler are the same, and this is the end of all fucking rights for women and all rights for gay people. And if you're colored or a minority, then you voted for Trump, then you're against your own people and all this other shit. Like, I don't understand just everything that's out in the world now. Like I said, the Twitter files, the Mark Zuckerberg coming out, you see all these, you know, media outlets getting slapped with defamation, fucking lawsuits, like how people are still, you know, regardless of what you feel about either Trump or Biden or Kamala or whoever's running for president, like just these things that are now becoming trends. It's not even just a one-off anymore, like conspiracy or anything like this. These are becoming patterns and trends now that people are still so caught up in a certain narrative for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because they feel like they want to be right, or they don't, or, you know, they feel like they need to be on the right side of history and things like that. But like, why do you think people are still so fucking like gun-ho and still so like tied down to a certain mindset when there's just truths that you can't deny anymore?
There's a couple different things, man. I think inherently when you, like, in politics, like, I think a lot of stuff is overblown, but some shit is truth, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you do have Congress people actively hate gay people and minorities. That's not false. Yeah. You know, it's out there, right? But I think we've become a society where we don't like facts so much more as emotion, because emotion's stronger than anything. People decide on emotion. So I think people don't, and people don't want to think that they're wrong. They don't want to do this. So I just think, people hold on to it because they associate bad apples in certain groups with the whole group.
Yeah.
I think that's why they hold on to it. Like, for example, we'll go into politics. On the right, you have some fucking religious nut jobs that literally don't like gay people. They have ties to the KKK.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't facts. But then, like, people are attaching that to the whole party. So, like, you're far reaching, they're associating. And then on the left, you have some people on the left that vote against stricter fucking laws for pedophiles. And you have,
the gender or the hormone suppressants for children and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's like, so then you associate the whole Democratic Party with, that extremism.
Yeah.
And then what that does is it creates an environment where nobody wants to talk to the other side. And when you don't talk, bigger problems arise. It's like the telephone game, dude. It's like, it's like a more serious version of the telephone game, but it's like, dude, like, I've met freaking conservatives that, they might not agree with gay marriage and stuff, but they would never take away someone's right for it. They're like, I don't care, man. They just do their thing. Like, they're like, oh, my thing is a little weird. Like, they don't care. And they're like, oh man, if you want to transition from a man to a woman or woman to a man, like, that's cool, but don't teach it to my kids in school. Like, that's where they draw the line. So it's like, but I don't give a shit. And I've met, liberals where they're like, no, dude, pedophiles deserve to get shot in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Or, no, dude, I don't want to pay as many taxes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've met all of it, but where you get the divide is people stop talking.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is, man. I think it's a conversation aspect.
Well, I think it's hard to talk about certain things, especially when you feel like that's going to be the one thing that's going to sever a relationship or sever ties and shit. And I've come to realize that most of the time it's not. It might bring you closer together more times than not. It might bring, kind of, you start having these talks and having these conversations and you start realizing how much more similar you guys are to each other, how, what the worries are, and that you guys have similar concerns and things like that. It's just from two different sides of the fucking coin. But I've talked to people that I've said that, and I even mentioned that there could be any similarities from one side to the other, and they'll shut that shit down. It's like, there's no way I'm like them. There's no way they're like us. Like, we're so much better, or our way is the right way, and this, that, whatever. I'm like, all right, well, like, again, take a step back. Don't, like, look at it from the macro fucking perspective of it, from the bird's eye view. Like, people all want pretty much the same thing. They want peace of mind.
Yeah.
They want to be able to support their loved ones. They want some type of community, things like that. And then once you start kind of, again, zooming in a little bit, you start seeing like, well, where do you find that community? Where do I find this peace of mind? And then that's where the separation comes, because there's a million different perspectives to a million different things. So it still is weird to me that people can't understand that, again, just that simple truth, that we're all looking for essentially the same shit, just in different ways that's going to satisfy us.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, if you get somebody that is not necessarily the most religious person, but will die by their political group, which, I mean, you're doing the same thing. It's the same exact shit. You're just doing it from a different lens. That's the shit that I don't understand. I guess I'll never understand it, because, like, I'm someone that is just like, again, I have my beliefs, but I'm also like, hey, as long as you're not hurting anybody and, like, you're not doing anything that's, like, weird, or, like, doing shit that's gonna, like, impede on other people, do what the fuck you want. Like, how does that bother me?
I think some people have a hard time grasping that, man. I think some people think they can't be middle of the pack. It's like, dude, like, myself, financially, I'm conservative. I have more conservative views about finances and that. But socially, I am a little bit more liberal. I don't care if you want to transition. I don't care if you're gay. Like, if you're cool, we can be friends. I don't give a shit. Dude, like, you can identify as a fucking microwave. I'll be like, hell yeah, dude. TV dinners were the shit when I was 8 years old. Like, I don't care. But it's this, I don't know. I think, and that's where the division of the party is. Like, some people think, like, no, dude, we have to agree with everything here. We got to agree with everything there. And I think, I don't know. Like you said, man, like, people want to compare Trump to Hitler and this, that, and the other. But it's like, Yeah, but like you can also dig into like the similarities. You know, like Trump has like said like, oh, Hitler was a smart guy. He said that.
Yeah.
But it stops there when it gets to the media. It's like those fucking they clip it, but it's like if you look into what he said, he's like Hitler was a smart guy when it comes to the economy of Germany. Germany was in financial ruins. Hitler was against central banks, which central banks are basically a fucking legal cartel. He was putting people and country over the world first. Like, you know, and those are aspects where I'm like, I mean, I don't want to side with Hitler here, but it's like, dude, if you take his name out of it, it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
But I mean, but you have to, if you get to that point, you have to have some type of leadership skills, quality, like whoever it is. I mean, there's still people that will still, you know, Genghis Khan. He was a great leader. Was he a fucking sack of shit and a terrible fucking human being? Yes. But the fact that he was able to conquer most of the known world at his time, it's like that. You cannot, again, there's just certain truths that whether they're good or bad, they're still truths.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. Like he had good leadership skills. But he just used it in a fucking terrible, shitty fucking way. Same with Hitler. He was fucking probably one of the worst people ever in history. But the fact that he was able to get to that point, like there, you have to have some type of leadership skills, some type of knowledge. You have to have some sort of intelligence. You're not just getting there on fucking blind luck. Like just fucking, I'm going to fucking do this and see if it works out. It's like, no, there is strategy and there's things that lead up to that.
Dude, people still use his military strategies, like that Blitzkrieg shit.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he could take over Europe in a year. But
right.
No, yeah, like I said, like, you know, and people, but when this actually kind of goes back to like earlier, like when you say that, people think, oh, so you love Nazis.
Like,
when
no.
the fuck did I say that? Like, when did I say that? I was like, yeah, dude. Honestly, man, like I don't like seafood, so I think we should just kill all the fish in the fucking ocean.
No, I don't like seafood, so fucking keep them in the fucking ocean. Fuck, let them live their best little fishy lives.
Yeah, but it's funny. And like, I don't want to get sidetracked, but like the funny thing about Hitler is like he was financed by the Rothschild family to take power. He had financing, which were Jews. So he was
irony in that.
He was financed by Jews. Anyway.
Shit. Good thing we're not big enough. Someone could clip that and fucking.
Dude, honestly, at that point, I'd be like, whatever.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, because we were talking about, because you are, again, very financially savvy. You are, you know, you're knowledgeable on a lot of things that, you know, people would want their politicians to be knowledgeable on. And I did kind of, you know, just, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I think politics is such a fucking dirty fucking game.
Oh, dude,
and you're one of my best friends. So but I did mention is like, have you ever thought about running for politics or, you know, being in some type of political office and things like that?
I could do it. My family would hate me for it. I wouldn't subject them to that.
Yeah.
Me, like, dude, I've had people talk shit about me my whole life. And like, I don't care. And my views are my views. Usually people talk shit about me is the ones that don't know me.
Yeah.
Anybody talk to, you know, I've been called a racist before. I've been called a homophobe. But it's like, my wife's a part of the LGBT community. You're not white. Last time I checked, I mean, I don't own any spiky white hoods. Like,
yeah.
my closet's a mess. I could, you know, there might be one.
How did this get lost?
Yeah, I was like, you know, like, oh, dude, that's the last time I had people stay at my house. But like, you know, so it's like, I could do the politics thing. I don't care. I can go back and forth with people, but I don't think I would subject my family to the invasion of privacy. Yeah. Especially since like before like the whole politically correct movement, I'm sure I got some pretty fucked up shit on my MySpace and like back in the day and like my Facebook, which I could literally be taken out of things. Like, I don't know, man. So that's where I stand. But I have no problem talking about shit with people.
I feel like, but that's part of, I feel like that needs to be kind of injected into politics more, and especially on you know, social topics and things like that, is again just having the conversation. Because again, you'll be surprised how you might, just based off of a headline or what somebody says, just off of a quick answer of what your opinion is on something, it could be taken a million different ways. But again, like, that's what the great thing that I like about podcasts is that you can sit down with somebody, give them the headline, but then give context behind it as to why you believe this, why you think that, for A, B, and C reason, this is why I think this. It's nothing against this, but because this happened at this time, or this happened at this point in history, or this has happened a few times, like, this is why I believe it. Not to say that I'm right, not to say that they're wrong. It's just, this is what I believe. And I think that's where we lack, is that people just think everything is black and white, and that there's no nuance to anything. When there is, the older that I get, the more that I realize that there is nuance to just about fucking everything. I'm looking at this fucking box right here. Like, it's not just this box just got here. Like, the way that it got here, the way it was manufactured, the pictures on it, the processes that I had to go through to get to this, to get on my desk. Yeah. Like, everything in life is nuanced. Now, there's things that are a little bit less. There's things that are a little bit more straightforward. But the older you get, and I mean, for me, at least, the older that I get, the more that I realize is like, there is very little that, if anything, that is just straight black and white, that this is what it is. Take it. There's nothing more to it.
That's why everyone should do shrooms.
For real shit. Fuck yeah. Because another thing, fucking psychedelic therapy, like for PTSD, for people that have PTSD, and just for general enlightenment, is like, there's just like the old saying, if everyone in the world just sat down and smoked a joint, how world peace would probably come in 5 minutes. It's like,
we're famine, dude. They'd eat all the fucking crops.
The munchies would fucking hit hard. But like, it is wild that like, it really like just. I was talking about this with the last guy that I had on my podcast, Mike Lowe. Shout out to you. But like, how people are just don't like to be alone with their own thoughts. And like,
sometimes it's scary, dude.
For sure, but like, that's how else are you gonna grow, and how else are you gonna progress? And like, the people who actually want real change in the world, like, how do you think that comes?
Yeah,
but then they don't want to do the thing that makes it happen,
dude. I mean,
counterproductive as fuck.
Yeah, doing the right thing sometimes hard, dude.
Fuck
like, yeah. Wow, my house is a mess. I could sit on the couch. Nah, fuck that. Yeah,
gotta clean.
Like, obviously, that's like a little one, but no, it's true, man. I mean,
but it starts with that. It starts with that.
But I also think people, they don't take the time to dissect ideas, right? And that's not for everybody. I feel like that's when you talk about it with someone, like dissecting big ideas, right? It sounds easy when you talk about it, but when you sit there, like you said, it could be scary. You might not have the knowledge, but like, it's so much easier just to listen to something and be like, oh, that's that. But like you said, talking about the box, it's like, well, fuck, dude, like, what makes this box? Like, how did it get there? And like, that's, I guess, how I look at things. It's probably why I'm a little bit more accepting than some people. It's because like, I can look at it like, yo, that dude just fucking rocked that guy in the face. Like, what a dick. It's like, well, why'd he do it?
Yeah.
Or, oh, this person's a narcissist. Well, why are they a narcissist? Like, what happened in their life? Or, you can go to, why do banks have so much power? Why does this, that, and the other? And like, I feel like when you can sit down and you can, dissect certain ideas or ideologies, fill in the blank, whatever it is,
yeah,
then you become a more accepting person. So I say shrooms because shrooms like makes you do that.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Like, I don't do it. And they're like, we're fucking here, dude. Like,
and it's like, there's no way out of it either.
You're a piece of shit, and we're gonna address it. Like, oh, dude, I shouldn't have stole that lady's purse. No, but like, yeah, but I think, it's this. Like I said, sitting with your thoughts, dissecting ideas, and then if everyone was willing to do that and go back to discourse, it'd be so much better, man. Wouldn't it be perfect? There's always gonna be people that suck.
Yeah, and, I mean, yeah, we talked about that's just natural human nature. Like, there's still that primal instinct of you that like selfishness. You have to put yourself first to a certain extent. Before 100, 200, 300 years ago, it was more of a. We got to go hunt our food and, make sure that we're going to survive. Where now it's more, and in this country more specifically, a lot of those basic necessities are met pretty fucking easily. Like, again, there's fast food restaurants, convenience stores, grocery stores on every fucking corner. So then you start filling in those problems with those primal problems with more first world problems. And again, like, it's still issues, but the initial thought is what you're going looking through your primal lens, and then you start filtering it through, all right, societal stuff, this, what is my wife going to think about it? What is my husband? What are my kids? What is my family going to think about this? And then once it gets out into the world, then it's very, I guess, domesticated thought. But it's still, again, the primal thoughts, the primal instinct is still there. Now it's just, how am I going to make an extra dollar to make sure that I can put my child through school? How am I going to make this, get this extra piece of fucking jewelry, this extra car to, elevate my social status and things like that. But it still comes from the same primal instinct, because say we have the nuclear holocaust tomorrow, like all that fucking first world shit will be out the fucking window, and we'll be back to, all right, now how am I going to, well, first, like, what the fuck? Like, how did we get to this? But then, like, all right, well, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to have enough food to take care of my family, feed myself? Where can I get water? And it's going to go back to that. And I feel like a lot of people just completely disregard that altogether. And it's just like, but how? Like,
but because people don't think it's going to happen, dude. But it's like, because we live in America, right? America has its own bullshit. But like, we're a pretty damn developed country. We have a lot of shit that a lot of people don't. And people are like, oh, well, that's hypothetically speaking if a nuclear event happened. But it's like,
it's not
though, dude. Like, look at fucking Palestine, dude.
I literally was just thinking that. The Middle East.
Look at Iraq, dude. If you look at Iraq from the 1960s, dude, that place looked fucking sweet. And then it got blown to shit. And then those people are fucking surviving. And it happened like that, dude.
Yep.
1960s, what is that? 60 years that we're talking about?
Yeah.
It's not that fucking long.
No.
I know a lot of 60-year-olds. Like, I know people that saw it. So it's like, it's not that fucking hard. So, but I want to backtrack. How you're saying, like, why people don't see certain things. I think one of the biggest things me and my wife started doing, like, one of the biggest things I see in this country is, like, dude, there is a huge divide between men and women ideology. Like, a lot of women think men are shit.
Yeah.
A lot of men think women are fucking irrational and they're like, oh, they're just fucking ignorant. But it's like, what me and my wife do is, like, if there's something she doesn't understand about, like, being a man, she's like, hey, like, why are men like this?
Yeah.
Like, what makes them like that? Or I'll be like, hey, like, don't jump my shit, but, like, I have a question.
Yeah.
And we sit there, we let each other talk, we talk it out, and it goes. And, like, usually we're like, oh, fuck, like, that's awesome. And then we're good. Yeah. And then, like the biggest thing she asked me, like, I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, what makes you feel like a man?
It's like my dick and balls.
We laugh though, but she's like, what makes you feel manly? And because, like, she, like, I don't know if she watched a TikTok or podcast or whatever it was, and she's like, yeah, this guy was on there. He's like, dude, the most manly thing is, like, when I can go in bed with my wife and, like, she can lay her, like, head on my chest, and, like, that's what makes me feel masculine. And she's like, does that make you feel masculine? I was like, I want to say it makes me feel masculine. I was like, it's comforting. I was like, yeah, I love that. I was like, but I told her, I was like, you know what makes men feel fucking like men? And I like, not just man, but at peace. And I was like, one, I was like, people think men are simple creatures because they dissect ideas and they're like, what do I need?
Yeah.
And, like, that's why, like, I'm like, and that's why they like to live a simple lives. They don't need a lot. But I was like, but what makes, and to me, like, because this is me coming from me.
Yeah.
I was like, what makes me feel like a man is when I'm accomplishing something. Like, do I have a goal I'm going to? Like, am I fucking, like, that's why I'm competitive. It's like, I like to fucking win, dude. Yeah. And it's not like, because I'm,
for real.
I was like, I guess I am a sore loser, but if you show me a good loser, you're a fucking loser. Yeah. That's how I feel. But, like, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, it's like, if I'm building something, if I'm striving towards a goal, if my family's taken care of, if I know I can protect them, I was like, that's what makes me feel masculine.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, me, like, think I can whoop someone's ass and all that stuff. I was like, no, dude. I was like, I know a lot of fucking men who are actually boys that can fucking throw hands.
Yeah.
But, like, if that's all you can offer, it's like,
yeah, I think it's more of a mentality thing. And, like, and I feel it as I get older, like, just certain things that happen, certain things that, again, give me satisfaction and things like that. It's like, oh, okay, like, this is what it is to be a man, what it feels like to be a man. And, like, and it's in its truest definition, like you say, feeling like you can provide, protect, accomplish things that you set your mind to. I think a lot of, and I think it's good entertainment, and I think it's fun to talk about, and the differences between guys and girls. But I do think it has taken too much of, like, highlighting the toxic side of each side and like making that the general of everything when it's like, because I grew up with women. I have two sisters. Both of my cousins on my mom's side are women. Like my aunt was across. So like that helped me kind of like see that, oh, we're all the fucking, again, we all want the same thing. We want somebody to love. We strive for community. We want to have purpose. That is just general human. Doesn't matter if you're a guy, a girl, a thing, an it, a he or she, whatever the fuck it is. Like that is what we all strive for. That's what we all want. Right. Now, you know, as you get older, there's certain things that are gonna, like for me, when I started playing sports, that was something that really was like, oh damn, like that's what really made me like realize how much the community, the camaraderie, the competitiveness, the, you know, doing something not just for your, especially football, not doing something for your own glory, but for the glory of the person next to you, right, for the glory of the person in front of you and shit like that. That really was like, like jump started that thought process of like, this is not just about me. This is not just about a guy, a girl thing, a black and white thing, a fucking this and that religion. It's like, because especially in football in this country, you get people from all different walks of life. You get people from all different types of backgrounds, you know, raised from all family to broken homes, things like that. But once you get on the field together, you have that one common goal. If one person fucks up on the defensive side, that's a touchdown to the fucking house, 60 yards. So it's like, it really kind of brings that together. And again, me growing up with women really I was able to see that and apply it to like, okay, like, yes, you can say these things, and like, yes, there's differences between guys and girls, but like, we all are stupid. We all do dumb shit. We all fucking, it's nobody's fault as to why the relationship, it's not one individual's fault as to why, oh, because she's a girl and she does this, or because he's a guy and he has toxic masculinity. It's like, nah, it's probably not working because both of you were contributing to this in some way. And, you know, you just want to feed into, again, the narratives of, oh, well, toxic masculinity and fucking guys are just fucking brutes and just fucking want to fuck everything and beat everything up, and girls are just too overly sensitive and expectations are too high, and they just feed into that shit. And I know a few people that are like that. It's like, bro, like, come on, we're old enough at this point. Like, you know, when we were 18, 19, 20, like, I get it, but we're old enough at this point and we've gone through enough life experiences and talked to enough people, met enough people that it's like, like, you're just staying on the surface because that's where you find the comfort. You don't want to dig deep and ask these questions and figure out what issues you're bringing to the table and how you're contributing to these problems, to your own problems. Because a lot of it comes down to your self-sabotaging. You're blocking your own blessings. 100%, there's been numerous times where, and in the moment I knew, but like I was still like, you know, caught up in whatever. But like looking back, and as I got older, like I started realizing like I could point out, I'm like, yes, I know I am self-sabotaging myself. I know I am blocking this blessing, but I know I'm doing it so I can kind of move forward and not really feel any type of way about it and understand that like, it's not you, it's me, and be okay with it.
Oh, dude, I can tell you fucking probably 95% of the shit is my fault, dude. Like,
but people would just deny it. Oh, just dude, like,
no, man, I mean,
openly just like, we'll just say shit that is like, well, you're just not making any sense anymore now. Like, you're saying that, like, you know, you did A, B, and C, but still it's their fault. Like, it's they pushed me to do this. I'm like, well, are you like, do you have no control over yourself? Like, you're just blaming everybody else except you. Like, you're just like saying that I don't even know what the word I'm looking for right now is, but you just really that you have that little control over yourself that this person pushed you to do something that you felt like you didn't want to do or didn't need to do. So that's more of a reflection on you than it is on the other person then.
Oh, dude. I used to be that friend with the fucking warning label on him. Like, hey, dude, he's a fun time, but don't take what he says personally. I'd be like, you know.
Shit.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the hardest thing, dude. Self-reflecting is probably one of the hardest things you have to do.
Yeah.
Because it's not someone else calling you a dickhead. You're like, damn, I'm a dickhead.
Yep.
And then, like, a lot of the things I've done, I was like, I don't have an answer for. Like, hey, dude, why'd you throw that rock through the window? It needed to happen, dude. It needed to. Like, that rock was just wasn't supposed to be there. And they're like, well, now you're in jail.
Fuck.
That rock didn't throw itself.
So, like, I guess that being said, like, what type of things, I guess, like, well, first of all, was there certain, like, a particular moment in time where like there was like it kind of started clicking for you, and then you started kind of, taking that time and, going through the process of trying to, correct certain things and things like that. And then the second leg of that question is, what things do you do now to help keep yourself to, what practices do you do to help keep that same mindset and, checking yourself and things like that?
I think when my dad died, man, because I had a lot of crutches, like as a kid, like I did a lot of shit on my own, but like if I got into shit or I didn't know something or whatever, I could call him, or worse is if I got myself in fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Dude, he'd bail me out. Like, I could fucking murder 18 people, and he'd been like, "Oh, dude, you're still the man. Like, let's get you out of this. We're just gonna have a talk when we get home, but that's not cool. But being out of jail is not cool." But so yeah, I probably went ahead and died, and I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "All right, I gotta figure this shit out now."
Yeah.
Like if I got in money trouble, it's like he couldn't throw me money anymore and shit like that. That's probably the biggest one, because then I was like, I was up in Chicago, and then that whole fucking state got shut down. I came home and I had no income for the first time in my life since I got out of like college.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I have no income. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I going to do to make income?
Yeah.
And then, I figured that out. Obviously worked out. And then, getting into a relationship, like there was times where, when he was still alive. And like, cause obviously my mom was a wreck at that time. So like she wasn't even thinking straight. So like we were trying to figure it out together, but like say like relationships, even like, I'd be like, usually my fault if I cheat on a partner or some shit. And I'd be like, "Oh fuck, you're crazy." It's like, no, you just fucked another person. Like, you're so crazy. but I'd be like, "Well, fuck this, I'm out." And I'll just go and be like, "Hey, I need to stay at your house for a couple months so I can figure some shit out."
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that anymore. So then like in relationships, I had to learn how to fucking communicate more and give and take and then be less selfish. So that, basically, to answer the question, I think him dying was so really not that long ago. That really, I stopped partying and shit way before that because I realized that was. But like to be like an adult and get my finances and like life path and all that shit, him dying was the big one. And then I guess how I go about like keeping that up, I read like a lot, like nonfiction shit. Like I read a lot of whether it be like finance stuff. I read what's going on. Health stuff, right? I got that back in 2020. I almost died from a fucking blood clot in my lung. So, I was like, all right, I need to take my health a little bit more. Like, I'm not Superman, so I'd read a lot of health shit. So let's read it overall, inform myself. I always do that. Chloe gets mad at me because I'm on my phone. I'm like, dude, I'm not scrolling on TikTok. I was like, look at us find out. She's like, I don't give a fuck about the fucking euro. We don't use euro. I'm like, it's cool though. Like, what if we used it? But like, anyway, that stuff helps. And then I think the biggest thing was communication. I sucked at communication, dude. Because I think just naturally, like, obviously I care what certain people think of me, but like the general masses, like I never really gave a fuck. I just act on impulse, and I'm like, well, you guys got to deal with it because it happens. So with like relationships, like I said earlier, me and Chloe talk so fucking much, and even if it's like the shitty conversations, like she's like, you're a fucking asshole, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna sit here and listen why, and then it's like, yeah, dude, if I was another person, I'd hate that guy. So we have a lot of self-reflection, and then it's taking me time, I think, is the biggest thing. I always did that though. Yeah. But my me time was like, I'd be like, I'm gonna go smoke a joint and watch TV. But like there's times where like I literally just go upstairs, turn the lights off, and I just lay in bed. I'll think, or else recharge. I think too, like sometimes like you said, you have to take care of yourself first. But I realize I'm like, sometimes I just gotta recharge. I was like, dude, I know the house is on fire, but like, I get to tend to that fire when I recharge. But I think that. So it's nothing really special. It's just the obvious shit, but the shit people don't do.
Right. And it's usually it's usually the simple shit that people will just kind of like, oh, I'll put it off or I'll do it later. And then later comes and they're still not doing it and shit like that. And, you do that for 10 years. Then you look back and like, oh, damn, now I have, 10 years of shit that I need to sift through and go through, and why did I do this, and why don't I talk to this person anymore, or why did I lose this job, or whatever the case may be. And I do think it is important, and I feel like I was pretty fortunate in that sense that I kind of came to that realization at a fairly young age. It was around like 21-ish, 22-ish for me that I was like, all right, I feel like I have a lot of resentment in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. I feel like it's not doing me any good. There's certain relationships that I want to have better relationships with certain people and things like that. And you know, well, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to keep on fucking bitching and complaining and woe is me and pointing the finger? Or am I just going to take a deep breath, understand my part in it, let it go, and then start building from there? And again, it's very easy to just be like, fuck it. Like, fuck that person. Like, they fucking suck. They did this and they did that. And yeah, I did this, but fuck them. And like, they deserved it. I was justified in doing this. And just kind of letting go of that mindset. And again, it's not an overnight thing. Like, it's the clarity and the fucking realization is pretty instant, but the process and the result is over time.
Right.
And I feel like people will get discouraged from that, and they'll be like, oh shit, well, this is gonna take so fucking long. Like, I'm already so comfortable here, and like, you know, I might not be the worst person, so, you know, if I can find some type of way to justify this can be okay. And like, you know, there's people doing a lot worse than I'm doing and shit like that. And I'm saying this because this is things that I thought. These are things that I was thinking at that time. And it's like, and it's not that it's wrong, but it's like, it's not the most productive way to live life and to be happy more than anything. Cause, you know, I feel like people get lost in that, and it's so easy to get caught up in all right, well, I'm financially successful and I have this and I have a nice house and all this. So like, of course I'm doing good. But like, if you have all these things and you don't have anybody to share it with, or you're just buying these things just to fill a certain void, then eventually that's just going to still catch up to you.
Oh, absolutely.
And then instead of 10 years of shit that you got to go through, now it's 30 years of shit that you need to sift through. And I've been seeing from certain people that the older you get, and with me too, you know, the older that I get, I don't want to sit down and go through things that, when I was fucking 12 years old, that in like childhood traumas and shit like that. Now imagine you fucking 20, 30 years of shit. Now you have to go back from when you were 12 to now you're fucking about to be 40, 50, and you have to go through all this shit. And it's like, it's draining. It is emotionally draining. And you, like you said, in the process of going through these things and sifting through it and trying to, you know, go through on that spiritual journey, you have to take time to decompress and recharge and find things that are gonna fulfill you and recharge you in productive ways. Like for me, and it's always something that I like to do. I like to be active. I like to go to the gym. I like to do things like that. So that's something for me that, you know, when I go to the gym, I just put some music on, I'll put a podcast on, and I'll just fucking shut out for about an hour, hour and a half. And that's a good recharge for me. Or I'll sit down and play some video games, some mindless shit. So then when it comes time that I need to revisit these things, I have the emotional capacity, the mental capacity to tackle these things in a productive way, because you can attack and tackle these things and it not be productive. You're just in a circle, in a fucking hamster wheel, and wondering why you're not figuring anything out. Like, you have to find something that's going to work for you and fucking move you forward, and not just because you can address the problem and that's the first step, but then it's like, all right, well, now how are we gonna take a step to not, so it's not a problem anymore, so it's something that's a thing in the past now.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, I mean, just to piggyback everything you said, I think two things people need to figure out. It sounds so simple, but so many people don't have these things. One, you gotta find out your triggers.
Yeah,
right. I know my fucking triggers, and some people are like, if I fucking leave a room, people are like, oh, that's disrespectful. It's like, no, so I don't choke you out. But
I'm saving you.
Yeah, no, okay. But okay, we're joking, but not really. But and then like the second thing is like, you have to have your hobbies, like you said. So here's the gym. And like, dude, some of my hobbies, like, I love fucking cooking.
Yeah.
And like, and when I cook a good meal, I'm like, damn, that's better than the restaurant. I think that goes back to like the whole man thing. It's like better than that fucking restaurant. And it costs a third of it. You suck. No, but yeah, so I think you need to find out your triggers. So like, if something arises and you know, or you don't even get yourself in that situation, you can live a peaceful life. Like I said, everyone wants to live a peaceful life. And then if you have hobbies, your hobbies is your recharge. Like you said, whether it be going to the gym. I like going to the gym, you know, cooking. Some people like drawing, some people like knitting, reading, whatever it is. You know, I like playing video games. Chloe used to make fun of me for playing Madden, because I'd sit there and like just totally just pick apart a fucking roster and just trade people. And she's like,
that's just fun though.
Yeah, she's like, you haven't played a game in 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, but with this fucking scheme and these players, I'm gonna smoke everyone.
Do you see the signing that I got for a fucking bargain?
Yeah, dude. This guy 3-4. Dude, this isn't a 4-3 team, dude. This is a 3-4.
Okay, I do that with FIFA now. I've been playing a lot of FIFA and shit. And I fucking won't play a game, but because I like playing. I've been like the general manager mode, or where you're the manager of the team and you have control over the whole roster, fucking making trades,
building shit,
upgrading stadiums, fucking seeing where you can cut corners financially, so then you can sign this guy for like, bro, it's. Yeah, we could be GMs essentially.
Yeah, and then I explain, and it goes back to how we were saying you need to talk to people, and then she's like, "Oh, I get it." She's like, saying, "I wouldn't do that," but she's like, "I get it." Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, I just built a fucking super team with fucking 70 million, dude." Like,
now we're about to go undefeated and fucking win the bowl.
I'm running for president next year. Like, fuck this. I'm ready. Shit. So yeah, I think that. But anyway, all jokes aside, I think you need to find out your triggers and you need to find your hobbies, and because I think. If you avoid the situations that are going to fuck you up, you're winning half the time. And if you have hobbies, that's going to recharge you to be able to tackle the non-fun shit, right? So like if I'm recharged, I don't care about cleaning the house. If I'm like if I'm exhausted or I'm mentally stressed or just a lot of shit and it's time to clean the house, I'm like, can we just light a match and start over?
Yeah, facts.
That's my two biggest things, man. And I think it sounds simple, but a lot of people like, dude, do you know how many people I know that don't have hobbies? I know people that are just like, their hobbies is like, they have free time at the home, they don't know what to do, so they get a second job. I'm like, your hobby is working?
It's like, you gotta fucking.
I'm like, do you need the money? And some people don't even need the fucking money. And they're like, I just don't know what to do with my time. I'm like, draw in the fucking sand, dude. Like, that's a lot cooler than going to work.
I will say this. The one thing, it doesn't matter how recharged I am. The one thing that I still fucking hate to do this day is fucking putting laundry away.
Dude.
Bro, I have a giant pile of fucking laundry that I have to do, and I'm fucking dreading doing that shit. I don't mind fucking vacuuming, putting the dishes away, fucking all that, but like for whatever reason, laundry I fucking despise putting it. And not even putting it through the washer, through the dryer, all that shit is once it's all done, clean, ready to be pulled away, hung up, I'm like, fuck. And I'll avoid the shit out of it for like 2 or 3 days, and I'll just start picking clothes out of my fucking pile and fucking just live out of a fucking pile of laundry. For real, I'm just like, fuck.
That's how me and Chloe split up our chores. I'm like, dude, I was like, I will clean the whole downstairs if you just do the laundry. And that's what we do. And it's great because like she's terrified of like fucking up a food and like pissing me off because she's like, that's the worst, dude. And I'm like, and I don't want to fold that because I will throw that in the lake. Like, that's
for
stupid.
Real. Bro, but, fuck that. I hate it.
Yeah, dude, laundry's pretty fucking bad.
I do want to ask you, kind of a little bit off topic, because you did work, you were in the fitness industry for a while. And I don't really follow a lot of fitness pages for this reason that I'm about to get to, but I do, on Instagram and shit like that. Like I listen to certain people and things like that. Why is it that every fucking reel on Instagram is a fitness influencer critiquing another influencer, saying that what they're doing isn't right or what they're doing isn't this? And it's just constant fucking criticism when, for me, at least from my experience, there's right ways to do things, but then it ultimately, once you figure out like, form, your diet, your body type, things like that, it ultimately comes down to what works for your body. So even though there's a right way to do things, there really isn't a right way to do things. And it's just influencers constantly just running the same fucking 5 different reels, just shitting on each other.
I don't really think that obviously has to do with the fitness industry because they're in it. I think it's a marketing thing. Because Instagram, used to be TikTok, even like Facebook reels and shit like that. Like that's what people are using as their marketing material now. And controversy builds an audience.
Yeah.
Right. There's a guy named Nick Trigili. His podcast and his business is like bodybuilding and bullshit. He's fucking right a lot of the times. And I love the guy. Like I believe a lot of shit he says and stuff like that. But that's what he does. He's like, dude, like, he doesn't like shit on him. He's like, what are you doing, man? He's like, you're going to get this guy hurt. Like, this is when you do it. And then he like critiques it the way he would do it. And, obviously, yes, he could be doing that to keep people safe, but he's doing it too to where it brings into my next point is it builds you a credibility. And people are like, well, fuck yeah, like this dude knows what he's doing, so I want to sign up. That's why they do it on that. That's my opinion. That's what I've seen because it's like you said, there's not a right or wrong way to do things. There's this guy, looking up, his name is Judd Leinhard. He does the most unconventional shit. But this dude's 41. He can, and like he was an Army Ranger. He played college football. He was an All-American in college. Like he's athletic. dude, he still moves like a college player, but he does so much unconventional shit, but he combines so many things. So he does a lot of things that people say not to do, but I'm like, well, this dude's a fucking unit.
Yeah.
And he's smart and he's likable. And like, so I'm like, So yeah, whenever people do that, tear it down. One, they want to create controversy. Nobody likes fucking kittens. Everybody likes explosions, like kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? But and then they try to be like, but this is the better way to do it because this will get you the results. And it's them thinking it builds, some kind of authority. That's why I like Joey Swoll though, dude. Joey Swoll calls out the shitbags. And it's like,
some of the videos is like, that dude is just a fucking douchebag, just ego lifting and like there. But like, there's like, again, like the ones that it's influencers calling out other influencers, where it's like clearly like this other person knows what the fuck they're doing,
it's
like
to build controversy and try to get them to be the guru and people signing up. Yeah, that's what I think it is.
I hate that shit because it's like, especially in like fitness and in the gym, like the one thing that I like. The couple times that I worked at a gym, is like the one thing that I like about it is that everybody who walks in through that door is trying to get better.
Yeah.
And that's, you can't say that literally about any other fucking field, industry, anything. Like, to my knowledge, it's like everyone is trying to get better. So like,
even if it's for like a vain reason, you're still like,
right.
If you want to work out to get a six pack, inherently you're still going to get healthier. Like you're going to get better, you know? Yeah.
So right. To me, it just seems a little, and it makes sense what you're saying, but like, it just seems kind of counterproductive to like the whole like gym culture, fucking aura and like what the gym is supposed to be, as far as like, for as much as I fucking think Planet Fitness is fucking whack as fuck, but like that kind of whole like
their whole spiel is it's positive.
Yeah. But that's another one that's kind of counterproductive too, because we don't judge, but we have this fucking giant ass fucking alarm that if you're going too hard, we're gonna fucking sound it off and call you a lunk. It's like, that's a judgment, stupid.
Dude, that's a competition. How many times can this thing go off?
Bro, have you ever heard that thing go off? It sounds
I set it off deadlifting one time. Back when I first moved to Gainesville, my freshman year in college.
Bro, that shit sounds like the end of the fucking world siren. It's like, what the fuck? Like, our nuke's going off right now.
I crawled under a bench, dude, started crying. Like, I called my mom. Like, fuck, dude.
Like,
we're
sir,
about to be blown up.
This is you. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, oh, fuck.
But yeah, just to go back to social media, I think it's more so social media marketing, and they're using fitness as a niche rather than them trying to push fitness. They just happen to be good at fitness, or what they think to be good, because some of the most qualified fitness people, a lot of them don't even have social media. Like, I've worked with a couple people that literally were certified to be coaches in the Olympics.
Oh shit!
And they don't have social media, and yet they're just fantastic. So, yeah, I think that's social media culture more than anything.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
And it goes back, like, social media used for the right reason is a great tool.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Obviously, if you ask them, they're going to be different because they don't want to get shit on. But,
yeah. I just thought, I was watching, like, I've been watching it for the past couple weeks, and I'm like, fuck, this doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, when you break it down like that, it makes all the sense now. So
it's social media marketing with the fitness niche. That's all it is.
Fuck.
That's my opinion. But
shit. What else? You got anything you want to get off your chest? Have any new conspiracy theories? Anything fucking flowing around in your brain?
Oh, dude. I mean, the whole fucking election. I kind of went into it, but I think it's like I said, Trump, it's everything he's saying, whether he's full of shit or whatever, he's talking about no censorship, authenticity, this, that, and the other. But like his first executive order, he said he's going to put in place is around cryptocurrency.
How do you feel about, sorry to cut you off, how do you feel about him putting Elon and Vivek and all these kind of like big names in his cabinet, essentially, fucking RFK and all that shit? Do you feel like it's more just kind of like just Trump doing Trump shit, or do you think there's more to it than that?
I think it's just to usher in the new thing. So it's like a backtrack. So like if you talk to anybody, whether if you believe in astrology, right? If you believe in astrology, then like Chloe loves astrology. Some of it makes sense to me. I like listening to it because I just like ideas. So we're going into what's called like, I think it's called the Age of Aquarius. If I'm
the
wrong,
dawning of Aquarius.
Yeah, if I'm wrong, she's gonna be like, you're a fucking idiot. But, but I guess that whole thing is like, it's like the age of authenticity and of truth and connection and yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
But if you talk to financial minded people, it's called the golden era, right? Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's called the golden era, and the golden era it's a age of authenticity and finance and connection through technology and this, that, and the other, and you blend the two, and they fucking both coincide with each other. And then you got someone like Trump, and you have JD Vance, and then you have his SEC picks. His SEC picks to oversee, you know, trade regulations, stuff like that. You know, one of them is one of like the only ones he like served in 2002, but he's the only ones to prosecute hedge funds for like naked short selling, which is illegal, but no one fucking prosecutes it because they get kickbacks or whatever. Yeah. So you look at all this stuff and like everything, I think, so people say it's conspiracy theory, but everything's been fucking coming true. But I think it's just a way to usher in the new way we communicate, do business, all that. Because, you know, Biden and Kamala, a lot of their policies, it didn't go with this. But with the ushering in of AI, quantum computing, which is fucking insane. If you ever look into that.
Yeah, bro.
And now blockchain. So you have, so AI is, you know, your what's it? That's going to be like your workforce and the way like operational things. And quantum computing is the same thing. So then you have blockchain, which is a financial system. So you can't have both of those with an analog financial system, which analog is what we're in now. It's a slow moving shit like that. So you need it to move the speed of light. So then you have this administration coming in, which almost all of them, RFK has Bitcoin, JD Vance, Trump has a shit ton of crypto, his SEC picks have it, his Treasury picks have it. And that's what's missing. So you need those three to function for all of it to function as a whole. And that's why I think it's like, that's why he's in. Because at the end of the day, people are like, oh, you know, Trump's running an oligarchy, this, that, and the other. We've always been an oligarchy. The very time that we started accepting lobbying dollars and political donations, we became an oligarchy, because that means corporations control the government. Under fucking Bush, under Clinton, Obama, Trump, even under Kamala, we still would have been an oligarchy until we get rid of financial donations. So not going on that one, but so I think everything is, he's put in place to usher in this new system. And now we're seeing Bitcoin treasury reserves. We're seeing banks and financial institutions, you know, incorporate XRP payment rails, because you can transfer hundreds of $billions for like 3 cents, whereas before it cost like $10 million to do that. Then you see countries like Dubai, they're purchasing and trading oil in XRP. You're seeing JP Morgan, like I said earlier, JP Morgan and Bank of America, they use blockchain for their payment rails because they save money on it. And then now you're going to have supply chain using blockchain. So we have all these fucking instances of like materials going missing, the fucking Pentagon fails audits, this, that, and the other. You can't fudge blockchain. Everything on blockchain is transparent. And me and you could literally log onto a blockchain ledger and see exactly where this money is going transferred, right? Yeah. You can't print more cryptocurrencies. The supply is the supply, so that takes care of inflation. It's why the central banks are flipping the fuck out. But it's like, so that's like my conspiracy theory that happens to all be coming true right now. But that's why I think he won. You have the crypto bros. There's a whole nother world of cryptocurrency out there because it's decentralized, so you don't really know the net worth of these individuals. Yeah. Like if anybody that's listening to this, if you want to go dig into Web3, it's fucking absolutely insane. You can buy houses and use Bitcoin for collateral for loans without needing bank approvals. You just put your Bitcoin up for collateral and they literally give you the fucking loan and you can buy a house, right? Because like the digital dollar is called USDC. Yeah. You can literally get a loan in that and you can transfer that to actual physical cash to transfer to someone. There's a blockchain company called Proppy, which is a blockchain deeds and like transaction documents for that, which we don't have to go to a brokerage or a lending center or a bank. Literally me and you, I'm like, dude, you want to buy my house? We can literally have a fucking blockchain like document right up on Proppy and we can just trade right here. I can sell you my house right here.
Oh, shit.
So with that being said, that's why I think he won. I think social shit, like we said earlier, is it's relevant. It matters, but that's used as a division. And then every 100 or so years, the financial system changes. We're up at 112 years right now. That's my whole theory.
There you go.
And that's also, I believe in cryptocurrency since 2017. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Fuck it. Damn. That's there fine. You go. That was a nice little rundown. One more thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about. This fucking alien shit is starting to fucking like blow up so much more, and it's like becoming like
Antarctica Arctic wall, dude. Look into that shit.
Well, that, but fucking this fucking drones in New Jersey, like all that shit. Dude, you think it's just drones?
I think it's drones, dude. I think it's no different than, I think it's the government spying. That's what I think it is, and that's why they're like, we don't know. oh, we knew that where Osama bin Laden was, and we knew that Saddam was hiding in a fucking hole. But we don't know where these goddamn drones, which has all this tech and shit, which you can trace. We don't know where they're from. Like, all right, dude. Yeah, dude. Fucking.
Fuck, I'm just wondering when they're gonna start showing themselves. I feel like the cat's already out of the fucking bag.
Yeah, they already said it. But I mean, dude, even from a kid, I was like, I think it's super ignorant to think that we're the only living beings.
Right.
Like, a galaxy is only a small portion of the entire universe.
Yeah.
So, like, by statistics, this is logic. If we have a planet that has water and oxygen and we can live on, there's probably a pretty good chance that there's something else out there too.
A couple fucking 100 million other fucking planets like that.
Yeah. So I'm like,
and that's probably on the fucking lower range of shit too.
Because it's like okay, like we have proven that there are other galaxies or other galaxies within the universe. That's been proven. So like, if you're saying that we're the only intelligent species, you're not one of the intelligent species you talk about. I'm sorry, dude. Like,
oh shit.
And then like, even like on our Earth, dude, we've only like explored 25% of the ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean's fucking terrifying, dude.
But they'll probably be the worst place to die. Because you're either gonna drown and you're essentially just waiting to die at that point. Something's gonna eat you. Yeah. You're gonna see some crazy shit, whether you're hallucinating or not.
I wish I was if that happens. I'd rather be high as fucking die than get attacked by the fucking megalodon sober. Like, fuck that, dude. Actually, I don't know, dude. Remember to trip on acid, just seeing the megalodon? I'd be like, dude, that's terrifying.
Well, fuck, that shit would probably just swallow you whole. Fuck, imagine, because that shit is fucking how fucking big. Yeah. Big as fuck.
Like, yeah, dude, I mean, you see shit like blue whales, which are like 100 feet long, having like giant bites taken out of them. Like, a shark didn't do that.
For real.
And I was like, I don't think there's like a sumo wrestler that big doing that.
And they're starting to get like all these. That's the thing, like, because I've been seeing that there's, like they're starting to get the clearest pictures of other planets that we've ever had and shit like that. And again, to me, they like. We gotta know already. We've got to have something, like some type of body or carcass or some shit like that of something that is not from this earth, and they're just holding it hot, like they haven't put the information out there yet. Because like, imagine, like, I just feel like the hysteria that's gonna come from that, and like the public reaction of people just like overreacting to.
Dude, look at 2012. Look at Y2K. Just people are like, oh yeah, like there was no backing. It was like the Mayan calendar ends. And there was people like, dude, people committed suicide. They're like, I'd rather kill myself than wait for someone to kill me. And then we're sitting there like, hey, you remember when Jimmy blew his fucking brains out? Now we're still eating cheesesteaks like we used to. You're like, yeah, dude, like happy 2012.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's true, man. If you like, if we came out and said there was like alien, I mean, like look at like what happened in the mall when like the whole Miami thing, whether that's true or not. But like people lost their fucking mind. There's people that didn't even see it that were just running.
Yeah,
So it's like
see people running. Oh shit! What are we fucking?
And I equate it to like bank runs. Like when banks collapse.
Yeah.
Because like people are like, oh, there's no money in circulation. You can't get your money out, so everyone rushes to the bank all at once and tries to pull out the cash that's not there, and the bank collapses, and then everyone loses their shit. So like that's a small scale thing of happening. It's like, hey, aliens, like imagine like Trump, Biden, whoever was president at the time, like when this came out, just to let you guys know there's aliens coming into our atmosphere on fucking live news. Can you imagine what that would do to the world? God. Dude, you don't even have to speak English. I think every language knows what alien is, and then everyone would be like, oh,
fucking flipping out.
Yeah, dude. And then like you thought COVID was bad was toilet paper? Dude, people would be fucking...
Yeah, but what I think it was like in some South American country, like there was like space debris falling out from the sky, and people were trying to claim that was like UFO, like spacecraft machinery shit, and just like
we have weapons that our military doesn't even use, like energy based weapons, like they exist now. Like, like people are making fun of like Marjorie Taylor Greene saying like there's Jewish space lasers. I think she's a fucking idiot. Like, but like I think she was like hinting towards like the energy force weapons. Yeah. Right. Like,
what did she call
Jewish space lasers? like you're a fucking idiot. But like because like she's like on the whole like Jewish thing, like, oh yeah, like whatever. But like obviously like nope, that's probably just advanced technology we have.
Bro, it is wild how the fucking anti-Semitism has ramped up a lot.
Yeah. And then they want to call Trump Hitler, but at the same time, there's like Zionist fucks. I'm like, all right. Well.
Oh man, it's just a never-ending vicious cycle of fucking contradiction and stupidity. But that's humans for you.
That's
I'm guilty of it too. So fuck.
Well, yeah. That's why I stay in my lane. I like to look at the things I like to look at, and I just try to weave through all the bullshit.
Pretty much. I'm on that same boat with you, brother. Well, about a little over an hour, and I think that was good. That was good stuff. It always is. Bro, I appreciate you, dog.
Yeah,
We've been friends since we were fucking 4 years old. Still going strong. So it's a beautiful thing. This is episode 203. Episode 203 in the books. Any closing words, thoughts, comments?
No, not when you put me on spot like that. There's a lot of things I can say.
Anything. First thing that comes to your mind. Boom.
Chicken wings after this.
Oh yeah. Go Birds. Everybody love everybody. Deuces. Good stuff.